Third graders, welcome back. I see Mason and Nolan and Caitlin and Jeffrey and Isaac and Ricky and Kayla and all the third graders who are ready to get back to school. I'm hoping that you had one of the best vacations that you've ever had, that you were able to connect with family and friends and have lots of fun. Because now it's time for us to get back into learning about words. And your teacher is going to be teaching you one of my favorite reading units of all time, mysteries. Yeah, because I love to see who's done it. I love trying to piece clues together and to keep reading to see if I'm right. So your teacher will be reading The Absent Author by Ron Roy, and you're going to be reading all kinds of different mysteries. And the interesting thing about mysteries is that we really do have to pay attention to words, because sometimes what the author is writing, they're giving us clues. So, word scientists, let's get going and let's look at the first 5 words that we're going to be learning. That these words will come up in A to Z Mystery, The Absent Author, but they'll also come up in the books that you're reading. And you will be able to use them in your own writing and when you're talking to people. So let's get going. All right. So this is the part where we're thinking about the words that we're going to be studying closely. And we like to start off by just thinking, do I know this word? And how well do I know it? So that I can think really carefully when I'm learning them. Okay, let's look at the first word. The first word is impressed. Do you know what that word means? Put your thumb up for yes, I could teach you right now. Sideways, I've heard it and I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, you got it? Next word. Shrieked. Shrieked. Do I know it and use it? I've heard it. Tell me more. Likely. Likely. What about suspect? Suspect. Last one for this bend. Approached. Approached. A word I know really well that I could teach all of you. A word that I've heard. A word that I've never heard, and I'm anxious to find out more. Okay, so let's start with the first word. Impressed. Before we go into learning this word, let's just make sure that we know that when we are reading and we come to these big words, because this looks like a big word. And sometimes when I'm reading and I see big words, I just glide over them. But we can't do that. We have to make sure that we are at least trying something to make sure that we understand what we're reading. So if I were to think of the word impressed, I might think of it as chunking with my finger, impressed. And it's really interesting, right? Because even if you think that you're writing and you're writing the sounds you hear, and you're thinking about this last sound, but we know that ED makes like 3 different sounds. And we have to be flexible, right? Impressed, 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 right? We're flexible. And we push it all together, reread and say, impressed. So listen, let's say this word impressed. Say it with me, impressed. And this word means that that feeling that you get when you are amazed or surprised by something or someone. Like I can just say that I am impressed with third grade readers and writers. I'm not kidding. Whenever I go to a third grade classroom and I sit down and talk to them about their reading or writing, I am just blown away. I am impressed with all the skills and knowledge that they have and are using. So, in absent author, Wallace is impressed that Duncan has read all the author's books, right? And that means that he's just like, what? You read them all? He's impressed. So I'm going to say something, right? And if I say something that you would use the word impressed with, you are going to rub your chin and say, impressed. If I say something and that would not mean impressed, don't do anything at all. You ready? Okay, here we go. When someone eats a whole pizza all by themselves, impressed or not? Listen, it doesn't matter what you think. What matters is how you explain it to show that you know the word. Okay, so turn and talk to your partner, saying what you think. Are you impressed with someone who can eat an entire pizza by themselves or not? Explain why. Go ahead. Okay, come back. Let's think about this. When someone writes their name on their paper, impressed or not? What do you think and why? Explaining. Turn and tell your partner. Turn and tell your partner. Okay, I heard some of you say, that's not impressive. I'm not impressed by somebody who can just write their name on their paper. Or maybe okay, hold on. Maybe some teachers are actually saying, I'm very impressed because kids never do it. I don't know. Whatever we say, we have to make sure that we have reasons to support our answer. Okay, here we go. When you watch somebody with a basketball dribble, spin around, and dunk it, are you impressed or not? Why? Okay, third graders, let's think now about some times that you have either impressed somebody or someone or something impressed you. Let's get some thoughts in and then turn and tell our partner what we're thinking about. Tell them, What are some ways that you've impressed people or people have impressed you? Go ahead and talk. Okay, so today we learned the words that we're going to be studying, and we really were thinking about the word impressed. And we might even see it in some of our books, or we might even be using it in some of our writing. Hey, keep impressing me, and I will see you very soon.